welcome to Ibis Weather. This is your host, Sarah. Today, we are going to switch things up a little bit and talk about the possible or upcoming snow event that's supposed to happen to the Deep South for Sunday this weekend. Today is January 16th, 2026. Happy New Year to everyone. I know I haven't had a lot of content coming out since the end of hurricane season or even a little before that. I do apologize. Sometimes life and a full time job does get in the way of this, but I am back and hopefully we'll be back with more content coming forward. We'll see how the winter content does for you guys and if you like it. So, right now, we're going to, like I said, talk about what's going to happen for Sunday, January 18th, 2026. Can we expect a lot of snow? Is it going to be a similar event to what happened last year? Are we going to have a lot of snow sticking to the ground, an impactful snow, an impactful ice event? Right now, that seems unlikely, which is good news going forward. Of course, I'm sure some people will be disappointed. There are people who do really enjoy a good, significant snowstorm. Again, while any snow in the south can feel a little bit like a blizzard, we do have to remember that's not really the reality. We're just not built for it. Our infrastructure does not support it, unfortunately. And since we don't get it too often, there's no need for it to support that. So there is, complications and things do happen. It's not unusual for towns to shut down during a significant snowstorm, but this doesn't look like it's going to be a significant one. Could there be areas or pockets in the country that might get a little bit more snowfall in the deep south? Possible. It's definitely likely to happen more in the mid Atlantic up north, which we'll get to in a moment. But right now, it doesn't seem likely. So we are looking at the current radar image for. So right now, this evening of January 16th, 2026, not a whole lot going on. You do have some snow happening in the southern central plains of Canada, and then of course the northern plains, northern central plains of the U.S. You also have it in the Great Lakes, which isn't unusual for this time of year. A little bit in the northeast Atlantic Maritime for Canada, so New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and then of course you have some over there in northern mid Atlantic, so New York, Pennsylvania, and then we do have what appears to be a mix of snow and thunder and rain over there from Arkansas up to the very southern end, Ohio. So nothing severe, nothing major going on right now. Of course, it's not the main purpose of the video today. We'll be talking about the snowstorm that could happen or is likely to happen, depending on how you choose to view it. Um, Coming Sunday. So let's go ahead and look. So here is a graphical forecast for the lower 48. This is for Sunday. So we're going to do the review. This is the precipitation potential index for Sunday, January 18th at 7 a.m. So you do see, it does look like it's going to, have enough to make people be wet and irritated from the East Coast. So definitely from like the Mid Atlantic all the way down to parts of Florida, and even some of it swinging back as far as close to Alabama coast and a little bit of New Orleans. Um, and then, of course, southern Florida, central and southern Florida should not be anticipating much of anything right now. It does look like it's showing, possibly, most likely, we will see a chance of rain or winter mix, snow, ice, whatever. So definitely over there for a good part of Georgia, except for the northern part of Georgia, which is unusual since they are usually the ones to get this during this time of year. If they were to get snow compared to the rest of the state, but most of the state will experience it. Uh, all of South Carolina and pretty much all of North Carolina as well. That is the probability of precipitation for that. So let's go ahead and look at for the weather. So this is for Sunday, January 18th at 7 a.m. So definitely see rain over there from North Florida, coastal Georgia, coastal, or half the state of South Carolina, and about half the state of North Carolina. And then you do see snow happening in the western portion of the panhandle of Florida, or ice, and some snow happening over there in southeast Alabama, extreme south, or I guess it would be south in Florida, extreme northwest panhandle, and then right outside of the Atlanta metro, and going up into the very mountainous part of South Carolina, and of course some of the mountains in North Carolina, and you see that going changing. So from a mix, from snow to a mix, and then of course to rain. For 10 a.m. on Sunday, it looks like that would change. It looks like the snow will get a little bit more likely for the good portion of the middle part of Georgia, and then of course that looks like they have a higher chance of it compared to something like the northwestern portion of South Carolina. Looks like they will continue to have a mix, of course. It looks like by that time things will be slowing down for the mountains of North Carolina, which they certainly don't need it. And then we can see it going all the way up the Mid Atlantic to the New England area, of course, of snow, which is expected. Other areas of interest of snow would obviously be Minnesota, Michigan, and the Dakotas, and a little bit over there in Montana and northeastern Wyoming. Then come 1 p.m. is Sunday. It looks like it will switch mostly to a mix, so it will be moving out. So Alabama will be in the clear at the point. Middle part into going to the coastal plain of Georgia will be seeing a winter mix, and of course more rain for extreme coastal Georgia, North Florida to Central Florida, and around Florida. Coastal Carolinas as well will have rain, and then for 4 p.m., pretty much the same with no winter mix or snow or ice happening for anywhere of those areas. So from Alabama to Florida to Georgia and the Carolinas. That does include a little bit of winter mix in the northeastern portion of North Carolina by Virginia, as they will continue to experience snow up there as that moves off the coast, the cold front, along with the humidity and of course moisture that is causing this. Okay, this is another graphical forecast for let's see here. Snowfall for 24-hour expected. This is for Monday actually, so January 19th at 7 a.m. to kind of give you an idea of where they think we'll see snow. Does look like it will be under 1 inch, as I was saying, maybe a little bit closer to an inch in some areas over there by Macon and Warner Robins. But you can see for Alabama and the little dusting that will happen over there in the Panhandle of Florida. Alabama's over here, I'm sorry, and Mississippi won't have any really very much. And of course, like I was saying, Alabama will have some in the southeastern portion, and of course, Georgia. So let's go ahead and drag this out to kind of show you. So it looks like the central portion of Georgia. So for the Macon area, so that is, for those who aren't familiar, that is south of Atlanta and northwest of Savannah would be the one with the highest chance. It does look like they could get up to an inch over there closer to the center of Macon and Warner Robins. And then you can see it's breaking up more over there into South Carolina, North Carolina, and then you'll see it building back up in North Carolina going up to the mid-Atlantic region. So let's go ahead and zoom out so you can get a better idea. So this is what it looks like. Kind of a strange pattern for snow. If you remember last year, definitely the coastal areas of the Carolinas and Georgia and Florida definitely got more of it. So this is kind of a strange one, but this is not your typical pattern for when you do get snow for this part of the country. So that's part of it. And also with the ambient temperatures and then of course the ground being warmer, the chances of it sticking or icing and building into anything is low, which is good news. Again, I guess depending on how you choose to view a snow event, but this does look like what it will be. So there is a chance. Doesn't look like it's going to be a blizzard or anything super big that will be impacting a lot of people. Um, just a light dusting, which is good news compared to what some of the people were trying to hype up on the internet earlier this week or yeah, earlier this week and late last week. Let's go ahead and look at the NAM, which is one of the computer models that they do use. So again, this is a computer model. This is not the actual forecast. Blue does represent snow. Uh, Blue to like kind of a purple. Sleet is a purple to a pink. Freezing rain is kind of a mauvey pink to kind of a coral. And then green up to pink, a light pink would be rain, to give you guys an example. So this is showing tomorrow, January 17th, around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, what it looks like. So you'll see snow definitely for the New England area, some rain showers over there in the Gulf, and of course right off the coast of North Carolina a little bit too. If we go forward into Sunday, so this is at right at the start of Sunday, so 12 a.m., January 18th, you do see some rain starting to build up over there in the panhandle of Florida, and it's starting to build up more by 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Sunday, you'll definitely see more rain forming and over there, including going into the central portions of Georgia again building up. So just rain. You start seeing a little bit of snow mixing in a little bit over there in middle Georgia. And then, of course, northwestern South Carolina, and then over there more toward the middle of North Carolina. And then you go forward, you see that snow expand, more rain moves out, moves over through the coast, switching back to mostly rain. And then by the 2021Z, January 18th Sunday, again, most of it will be just rain with little pockets of snow still for North Carolina and Virginia, as it makes its way off the coast. So that is what it's looking like. So not the NAM is not showing a lot of snow or a lot of ice, which is good news. Mostly a rain event, which is what I personally think is going to happen for the South. I do think Mid Atlantic and Northeast will definitely experience more snow. That is more what their typical pattern for this time of year would be. Like I said, here in the Deep South, we just don't have the setup that we would normally have for a big snow event. So I do think the NAM is probably the most likely one scenario out of the case. Let's go over here to the GFS. So if you watch my hurricane and tropical storm content, you guys know this is the American model for again running different computers and seeing what could happen with the weather. So again, we are kind of starting. Oh, this is at Saturday at midnight. So let's go to okay, here we are at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So rain kind of building over there by um, the Gulf Coast over there by the Panhandle of Florida. We start seeing it by Sunday at 12 a.m. Starting to see the rain build into from the Panhandle into Georgia, creeping up more in through Georgia into the Carolinas. Again, just rain. By 12 p.m. Sunday, you'll start seeing some snow and winter mix. Again, a very small portion of the panhandle of Florida, middle part of Georgia with rain for coastal Georgia, and then that kind of tapers off and turns mostly into rain for South Carolina and coastal North Carolina with some snow in the mountainous area of North Carolina and over there by not by the Panhandle, but over there by the border of Tennessee. Here, this one does show, it looks like, some possible snow on the coastal Georgia and South Carolina at 6 p.m. Sunday. Um, I've mentioned previously, as we see typically with the GFS for hurricanes and weather, it's kind of a rambunctious big dreamer of weather content. Uh, doesn't mean we could not see a mix of winter, maybe some snowflakes with some sleet and rain. It's possible, but with the ocean being right off the coast and with it being relatively humid and the ground just not being that cold, I don't think this is likely. Again, more inland coastal areas might. So anywhere that's not considered in like your immediate coastal flood zones, depending on where you are in Georgia or the Carolinas, you might likely see a little bit more snow than the immediate coastline, but I don't think this is going to likely panhandle because the setup just doesn't make sense for it to literally be surrounded by rain everywhere else, but have snow falling over there. And then once we get to midnight on Monday, January 19th, moves pretty much off the coast with some rain lingering over the Carolinas right now, is what they are saying, the GFS. The Euro model. So again, 6 p.m. tomorrow, January 17th, rain building in over there by the Panhandle. Again, building in by midnight, January 9th or 18th for Sunday. Again, the rain is building in more, definitely built in successfully more by 3 a.m. with middle Georgia definitely getting more rain and going to the Carolinas. Still rain, no snow by 6 a.m. coming January 18th. Again, no snow. You start seeing snow over there by the Alabama southeast corner, over there by the Panhandle, very western portion of Florida Panhandle, and then of course extreme southwestern Georgia as well at by 12 p.m. Sunday. That snow moves more in spreads and moves more into the middle of Georgia, a little bit still in Florida in the Panhandle, and going a little bit into the middle of South Carolina by 6 p.m. Still more snow. Again, this one does take the snow a little bit closer to the edge of the immediate coastline over there in South Carolina and Georgia. I don't think this is necessarily what's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see, but that doesn't seem likely. Again, winter mix possible, maybe a few flurries mixed in, but just seems unlikely with everything else. But at least this one does not show rain surrounding a strange pocket of snow. That just doesn't make sense with the GFS. And then come later on that night, it moves off of pretty much off of Georgia and South Carolina, with a little bit in the extreme northeast South Carolina and more into North Carolina on up. Again, just rain. So this one doesn't show, Euro doesn't really show snow for North Carolina. So again, mostly showing a Georgia event, middle Georgia event for all three, um, with some taking it to more to the coastlines of Georgia and South Carolina. And of course, we'll have to see how it impacts with Florida, with it being over there on the Panhandle, with them being so close coastal as well. That might not happen. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what does happen. And I think this is for the total snowfall. So GFS again, so the American model. So if you look at this, this is beginning for what I think is going to happen in the nation. Um, Tonight at 6 p.m., January 16th. If we go forward in time, this was the 12 o'clock p.m. Run. They are currently doing a new run for now. I'll try to post that later on today, what they updated it as. But this is the one from earlier today. The current one is running right now as well. So let's go ahead and go forward into, so this, okay, 12 a.m. Sunday does show possible snow in North Dallas, North Texas, over the Dallas area, and into Arkansas. I'm not quite seeing that. I'm not seeing that in the modeling, so that's interesting. Again, GFS is a very ambitious model, so we have to keep that in mind. Going forward, 6 a.m. Not much going on. Start around again 12 noon, which seems to be the biggest time when we start seeing snow. Middle Georgia again, basically just getting it. It does expand out to the coast of Georgia, whereas the very south portion of the coast of Brunswick, all that closer to Florida, not getting any, possibly getting close to having snow over there by Savannah, and Hilton Head Island over there in South Carolina. Of course, middle South Carolina getting it, little bit of snow over there in North Carolina and Tennessee. And then by midnight, January 19th, again, not a whole lot different, same thing. Again, like I said, this is GFS, it is ambitious. I don't know if the snow will get that close to the coastline of Georgia and South Carolina. That does seem unlikely just with the setup and just how everything is going. Again, GFS is particularly ambitious when it comes to weather. And we've seen it do some pretty crazy things when it comes to hurricane modeling, with a lot of phantom hurricanes forming, etc. If you paid attention to earlier last hurricane season, it was doing that. And of course, people on the internet was going wild. So here are the facts. Yes, there will likely be some snow experience in areas of the deep south. Predominantly in middle Georgia is what seems most likely, possibly middle South Carolina, possibly extreme western, northwestern panhandle of Florida, and extreme southeastern corner of Alabama, and extreme southwestern corner of Georgia. Those do seem like it. Will it meet all the way to the coast, come the snow as ice, or a winter mix all the way down to the coast between to Charleston down to Jacksonville? Right now, it doesn't look like Jacksonville is getting anything in terms of snow, which is good for them. But from Brunswick on up, it does look like there's that possibility. Again, I don't quite think that, as you notice on this one, it even shows Charleston not really having snow, close to it, but not quite. Uh, and you can even see a little bit like right over there by basically I-95 is being the dividing line there, um, for coastal Georgia. So it's likely that we won't see snow in those areas. Could happen. Weird things do happen. Weather does do random strange things. So it does seem unlikely. Again, it would be a very light dusting of snow anywhere. Again, maybe to 1 inch in middle Georgia, but most likely well under an inch for everyone else. Probably won't stick. Probably won't have a big ice event. Yes, it will be cold. You will feel like you need more snow because of how cold it will be. Make sure you do drip your faucets tonight, tomorrow, or not tonight. I'm sorry, not tonight. Uh, I would say obviously it would be Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night, just because it will likely be below freezing. So yeah, we're getting those cold temperatures without maybe the snow and ice that some people might want associated with it. In the meantime, know that yes, it will be a very minor light dusting, nothing major, not an epic blizzard, nothing like what we saw last year. And last year wasn't even a blizzard. I mean, maybe to some standards in the southeast, it would be considered a blizzard because it did shut down things for a long period of time. Still not really a blizzard when you compare it to everywhere else in the nation. And of course, as you do see, it does show snow for a good part of the plains through the Midwest over there by Mid Atlantic and then on north to the New England area. So there will be a lot of snow for areas. It is showing some rain and snow there in Texas, some rain and snow in the Denver area, which isn't unusual for Denver. So we'll wait and see if that does happen. Dallas, it would be pretty unusual for that to happen right now. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But yes, snow for some, no major event, no blizzard. Don't expect accumulation. It will just be a light dusting, and it may not reach as far as some people are trying to say it will. I would recommend pay attention to your local weather offices and make sure you pay attention to your trusted source of weather on what's going to happen, and we will see what happens with Sunday. I'm honest. I will have a link to my Instagram on my page here on YouTube if you want to follow it. I will have a post on Instagram that if you do see snow or ice, please feel free to share it with us. I would love to see it since I don't think I'm going to see any snow where I am. But if I do, I will let you guys know. For those who aren't familiar, I do live in southeast Georgia, so we'll see if I get any or not. Time will tell. But in the meantime, we will see. So thank you guys for watching. I'm probably a little bit out of practice with it, so I do apologize if I come across as nervous or kind of all over the place. It's kind of also hard. This is the first time I'm covering winter weather in this format. I've been doing a lot of shorts otherwise, as you guys probably have seen on both YouTube and Facebook. Um, so, this is the first time I've been doing it for talking points of snow and all that. So we'll see what happens. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and share. Uh, I would love to hear where you guys are located from in the comments below as well. And I will probably be posting another update soon, hopefully. Maybe this time with a warming trend, as I'm sure we all could use after this weekend. Thank you guys.